What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're out here in the shop this afternoon tonight, and tonight's project is going to be, we're going to design and build a discharge chute block for my zero turn mower over there, because I've knocked out enough windows hitting rocks and knocking them into the windows that I could be paying somebody to mow my yard, I do believe. So I'm going to show you that, and then I've got this piece of metal right here. This came off of the gooseneck trailer project that were removed. Those of you who've seen those videos recognize that. That's what they had over the wheel wells. And I'm going to cut this. This is like 3/16 diamond plate. I'm going to cut me a piece out of it and put over this discharge chute over here. When I bought this mower 7, 8, 9 years ago, however long ago it's been, they actually had a plate welded over this discharge chute and had a mulching kit with baffles up under the bottom of it. And if you cut your grass regularly, that works okay. But if you wait 3 weeks to cut your grass, something happens, you don't get around to mowing it, it gets too tall and it clogs up in there, and you wind up burning your belt up or just choke some mower down or whatnot. So that really didn't work for me. So I cut that off, and then I put the factory plastic style chute back on here, and that worked for a while, and eventually it just you know, you hit stuff with it and it just finally broke off. I would have thought I could have got a metal one for it, but I did not find one. And so I think what I'm going to do now, the way my yard is set up with the gravel and stuff I got, the gravel gets out in the grass gets in the gravel, and you try to mow it, and you wind up throwing rocks into everything. And so I'm going to build some kind of chute here and try to make it use that factory pin and spring load for a hinge maybe, and try to make it where I can flip this thing up if need be, and the rest of the time it'll stay closed. They actually make kits to do this with, but I think they're like $300 or something, and yeah, I'm not paying $300 for one. At least I don't intend to if I can build one. I'll take you out here and show you this right here. I was mowing grass right here beside my shop the other day, and you see the rocks here, the grass growed up in the rocks. You see my patio door way up there, my back deck is at? That deck is 5 foot off the ground, and it's 12 foot wide, so from the front of the deck to the door is over 12 foot. And I'm standing probably, I would say a good 25 from the deck. So that's close to probably 40 foot right there. And somehow when I was mowing along here, I hit one of these rocks, and it busted that right panel out right there. I actually have it over here in the truck. I'll walk over here and show it to you. All right, guys, this is the busted out panel. It's this is 2-piece panel, and your mini blinds go in between. They're in between. It's all one panel when you buy it, but there's 2 pieces of glass, the outer and the inner. It busted the outer glass, and then so the mini blinds was exposed. And anyway, I just chunked it in the truck after I got it out and replaced the other one, and hadn't thrown it out yet. The other thing I did was, I don't know, a few months ago now, I was mowing, and this truck has laminated side glass, a rock kit right here, and it put a crack in the side glass. I think the light's shining on that where you see it, so I have to get this replaced, and this is probably $200 to $300 at least, and that one there was close to $200 for this here. And then I knocked one out of my house about 2 years ago or so. So yeah, pretty expensive on the glass repair around here. So I'm going to get some measurements and do some markings, and we're going to cut this right here out and figure out what we can come up with and fabricate, and hopefully I can stop knocking windows out of things. All right, guys, so I've just held this plate up here against the side of the mower there and scribed a line across, as you can see, with a silver streak marking pencil. And now I'm just going to use a torch here to cut this out. I'm going to get me a plasma cutter one of these days, but I haven't got there yet. So we're using the torch, and we're going to get this cut out, and we'll try to figure out how to fab some brackets up for it. This plate does have some bends in it. As I say, it was used on that gooseneck to drive on top of. And anyway, I cut it off, replaced all this. So hopefully I can lay it flat on the floor and do some massaging with a hammer there and get it straightened out where we can where to work and look halfway decent. Alright, so I just got it leaned up there. Let's take a look at it. It's got to cool off before I can handle it really and finish fitting it into shape and clean it up and all that good stuff. But I had to turn the fan on over here. It's getting hot. Hopefully you can still hear me. I've got one of my hinge brackets here marked out, and I'm going to cut this off with the grinder here and a cutoff wheel, Matabo wheel, whatever you want to call it, just so it'll be a little cleaner than with a torch and a little more precise. And once I get this one cut out, I'm just going to lay it over and scribe around it, make a duplicate copy just so it'll be a little faster and a little easier that way. So let me get this cut out, or get both of them cut out, and then we will go about finish forming this in the shape over here and figure out what else we got to do. Alright, I've got my little L brackets there made, And I ran a flat disc across this here, cleaned it up a little bit. Got this 2x6 setting up under the edge of the deck here to hold this plate up the right height so that it matches the rest of the bottom of the deck down there. And then I'm going to get these, drag out my welding stuff, and these are going to set one right here and then one right here on the other side. And I'm going to weld that up, and then I will have to get the right distance on the end of this here and get my hole drilled and everything in it and get it where this will pivot up out of the way is the idea here. So let me get everything set up and see if we can get this tacked on here. So I've got it setting up here. I've got my holes drilled in. I've cut those off the right length and everything so that my pin will go in. I'm not putting a spring on there at the moment because I'm not done yet. Come on. It's hard to do this one-handed. Anyway, I can't get it to go in there right now one-handed, but the idea is this will open up like this and it close back down. But what I want to do is I want to bend this corner around kind of the back part of the deck here just to make it look a little better. Not really required. Just want to put a little bit of a bend in it right there. And so I'm going to heat this up and then try to take a hammer and get it bent around there a little bit, and I may even round the corner off a little bit. Not sure. Get it looking like I want it to look, and then we'll get it fastened on there with a spring and everything. All right, guys, I got it all on there. Got the spring and everything on it. As you can see, I think that's going to work out pretty good. And I know somebody's probably thinking, well, what if you want to have it with the flap up? And there's several ways you can do that. And most of them have a handle on there. You can just weld you a handle, a piece of pipe up here, and pull it. If you're mowing like around, if you mow for a living and you occasionally want to raise this up to blow the grass or whatever, and thick grass, let it back down, all that good stuff. I'm not doing it that way. For the most part, it's probably going to stay down, or I have a way to raise it up over here, and I'll show you that in just a sec. But I think grass flat makes one that has a linkage with a pedal. That would be better, being how this, being a zero turn, you need both hands to drive it with. So the ones with the handle, really, I don't see where that would work that well. I mean, sure, you can put the handles together and drive it with one hand, short distance, whatnot. You could rig up like some kind of rod with a notch or something to lock it into or something. You could weld a eye on here and take a rope and tie it up to your handle. That would work as well. But there's the risk that the rope could come loose or whatever, not paying attention, get wrapped around the pulley. You know, so depending on your mower and how it's done and your application would be depending how you want to do this. Now, for my application, I'm using this at my house, so if the grass is thin and I'm mowing around my house, the vehicles and stuff, I'll probably leave the grass flat down or the chute flat down. And say if I want to go mow some thick grass, you know, in a field, or carry it to my parents' house, mow over there where they got a little more area out there and it's thick grass, then I'm going to use it with the flap up. And the way I'm going to do that is, this is a Husqvarna mower, and they have a little piece of pipe right here. I don't know what this piece of pipe's on here for. Probably some kind of attachment, maybe for I don't know if it's for a bag or I don't know what it's for. But anyway, I made this pin over here out of a piece of 3/8 rebar, and all I'm going to do is, if I want to operate this thing with the flap open and use it as kind of a chute, is I'm going to drop this down in this hole right here, raise this up, spin this around like that right there, and then now it works as a grass chute. I like simple. That's simple. And that'll work great for this mower. What I'm going to do with it, because I'm not one of these people that's going to be raising this up and down while I'm mowing. I could do that, like I say, if I wanted to do that. I could put a string here, rope, whatever, tie it up, wheel me out on there, and then reach down and pull the string up. I see no reason to do that. I'm either going to leave it up or down, depending on where I'm mowing, how thick the grass is. Thick grass, I'll do it like that, and I'll set that up before I crank the mower up. That way, you know, I don't have to cut the mower off and all that good stuff. The only thing I can see with that, might lose the pin. I doubt it, but it'll lay up here. I think it'll lay up here in the floor. You can just toss it up there or whatnot if you think you're going to lose it. But I think that right there is going to work out for me pretty well. For my application, it's simple. I like it. Just take your foot up there. That would hit the tire if you left it like that, but all you got to do is remember to pull it out. Toss it right there. I think it'll ride. I like it. It's going to work well, I believe. I'm going to wrap this up and call it a night, and that way I can get up in the morning before it gets hot and try to get the grass mowed and hopefully not break any windows out like I did the last time I mowed the grass. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this sort of stuff, hit the subscribe button. We do all kind of projects on this channel. If it's the first video you've seen. Leave comments, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys in the next video.